Hello, Voltron fans. We are back. We are the AFTERBUZZ TV Voltron After Show. We are looking at Season 4, Episodes 1 and 2. We have 3 very special guests in the studio tonight, so it's going to be wild, and I cannot wait. Team, it's time to form Voltron.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I am so excited to be back, you guys. I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to have this show back. I'm thrilled to be talking about giant robots in pretty much any flavor. And I'm thrilled that we're all matching tonight. And that is thanks to Arsenic and Cyanide and Alexis, who enabled the live. Thank you so much, my dears. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into the start of this. I have with me tonight Red Lion, Emma Fyffe.
Hi guys, what's up? You can follow me at my name if you don't do that already. It's probably in a lower third. I don't know. It's Emma Fyffe. I keep it simple.
Blue Lion, Alexis Torres.
Hey, you guys can find me all over social media at atorres890.
Green Lion, Megan Salinas.
Hey guys, you can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And I'm Black Lion, Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. We have the hashtag ABTV Voltron. We've got the live chat. So if you have something fun to say to our wonderful guests, you can throw those in there. Speaking of our wonderful guests, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We have Lauren Montgomery, the showrunner. Where can people find you?
Oh, at Article and M on Twitter. I'm also the best Lauren Montgomery on Instagram because apparently my name is taken everywhere.
But now we know you're the best.
Who knew it was such a popular name? You know?
No, it is. I think there's like some volleyball team that I get Google alerts.
Totally.
A volleyball team.
Yeah.
We have Jeremy Shada, the voice of Lance.
What's up?
Blue Lion, go!
Oh yeah, sharpshooter. Chilling.
Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at Jeremy Shada on Twitter and at Jeremy Shada on Instagram. Keep
Welcome
it simple.
back.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
See, I like you, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. I had to fight to get that name though, because other people were stealing it. But
Trying to pretend to
I had
be
to hit up the
you.
Instas and I was like, nah, that's mine. That's me.
Wow.
You gotta get that blue
that?
check.
Yeah,
And
you
we
can.
have
You can
executive
just-
producer Joaquim
Yeah, I
Dos
still don't have
Santos.
the Instagram blue check mark. I have it on Twitter, not on Insta though. I don't know. I don't know what does that.
You're not verified?
Not on Instagram. I am on Twitter, but.
All right.
We
We'll
have
verify.
executive
Come on,
producer
Insta.
Joaquim Dos
Verify
Santos.
me.
For a second time, all right.
Off to a great start, guys.
It's good. Yeah, I completely forgot to introduce the show after the opening. Hi, AFTERBUZZ TV Voltron After Show.
I don't know
Season 4,
if you-
episodes 1 and 2, Code of Honor and Reunion.
I don't know if you
have
could
to do
tell
that.
that this was a Voltron after show or not.
No, we're actually covering the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
actually.
No, that's
mean-
episode 4, you guys.
Sorry, right.
It's also on every single screen behind
It
you.
is literally
So,
it's on
I
every
mean,
screen
it's
behind
pretty.
us.
And we're all
I
wearing
can't-
shirts that say Paladin
I
and shirts
can't
with
see a
lions
single
on
thing
them.
in this studio to indicate what show
Yeah,
this
of
is.
course.
No,
What are
not
we
a
doing
thing.
here? What are we doing here?
You need to announce it 5 times.
It's like My Favorite Murder. We just have to announce it 3 different times or no one will ever get
I
it.
thought we were talking about the Real Housewives. Now I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys, we're in the wrong studio.
Oh,
Let's get into this. I have to say, I know a few people who were very happy to see Keith straight up working with the Blade of Marmora.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for whatever Keith wants to do with his life.
One person was really happy about it.
Yeah.
Or-
Space
or-
Ninjas.
No,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Space
Space
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was happy about it. It's super cool.
I think Lance might be happy about it too.
Yeah. Lance is like, finally, I just get my opportunity to shine.
I get my moment.
I get the pool to myself.
One of the things I really like about this this first episode is that it would have been so easy to play up the drama of this episode in a needlessly melodramatic way. But that's not the route that you guys took. You played it.
That's what we were trying for. Did we fail?
We didn't get full melodrama?
I mean,
man.
that last shot with the Dutch angle and those angry expressions, like, no, that was when it's like, oh, things are going to go down now. That's a Dutch angle.
Looking back over the shoulder.
But it would have been, I feel like so many other shows would have just gone the route of everybody's just mad at Keith for no reason, or, he doesn't adequately explain things, and, but this is a show where they've been together for so long that, they've gotten to the point where they can communicate what's going on and be okay and accepting of it and not force someone to do something they don't want to do. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like in the times that Keith was absent when he was supposed to be piloting the Black Lion, obviously everyone was like a little mad at him
Sure.
for good reasons. In that, like, they can't form Voltron without the Black Lion. But overall, there was this like, man, you're kind of letting us down, but we also kind of get why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
so I appreciated that.
It was very true to everyone's character.
Sure.
There was no, I don't understand why you don't put us first. It was, look, we get it. It's important what they're doing, but we as a team cannot survive without our leader. Like, they
Totally.
can survive without you. We really super can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting, and this I think is something that I want to throw to you guys, that, you know, last sort of season in terms of Netflix dropping episodes was so much about trying to build up Keith's confidence as a leader, and now we immediately see him basically getting to step out of that role. So what was sort of the decision, I guess, behind that?
I mean, I think he's always been reluctant to be in that position.
Yeah.
So I think it's part of his makeup. It's part of his character. And I also think, you know, just to go back to the previous point, you know, Pidge tried pulling something very similar early on, and Keith was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So I think this is also a nice turn. It shows their growth as a team. It shows their sort of understanding of each other's, you know, sort of personal needs.
There's also a situation where you've got kind of like one paladin too many.
Yeah.
You're like, we only need 5 to form Voltron. And like, had Shiro stayed gone, Keith would have absolutely like been there and
Of
been
course he
that
would
leader.
have.
But he sees Shiro's back, and I think he feels like he can't fill those shoes. And so it almost makes him like want to pull back more. And he's trying to almost like force Shiro to retake that position.
Yeah,
Because he just like, he never feels like he can adequately like take his place.
It's given him an out. He had to step
pretty
it up
much.
last season, and now that Shiro's back, he's like, "Oh, good! I can
do my own thing.
I can do my lone wolf thing."
Never mind that it's not really working that way right now.
But they basically talked it out. You know what I mean? Which is cool. They kind of laid it out on the table, so there wasn't that thing where he just sort of went off on his own and was like, "Where did he go?"
Oh, yeah.
You know, They had it out.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that we had that much time, because we did have a nice little time skip in the middle of this episode where we saw the base kind of growing on Olkarion. I'm amazed it took that much time to have a Venn diagram overlap between we really super need you here and you're not.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's how it goes.
It's true.
Man, those Blade of Mamora guys just kind of drop like flies, though.
Well, they had no sense of self-preservation. And I get it.
Yeah.
But God.
Yeah. They really have no regard for their own lives at all. It's
all
the-
about-
They
Yeah, I
are
was gonna say, it's
all
all about
about
the
the
mission.
mission.
Yeah, it's all about the
Yeah.
greater good.
Yeah.
That's their thing. They will always put the mission first. I feel like they feel probably the most responsibility of everyone, being that it's like it's their own culture that's done this, and they, you know, they're like, they want to prove to everyone that we're not all bad, and we're willing to go the farthest distance to right our wrongs, sort of thing.
And I assume that most of these guys, at least the people who are in Blades of Mamor, they've been doing this for a long time, so they understand that this is what happens.
Part of the deal.
Yeah. So.
Got to sign that contract.
I feel like
Yeah.
they
Covered in
The
like
waiver.
orientation.
All right, guys, here's your contract. You might die.
Yeah, we're not liable if you do.
And
gotta do
just
it
a full
for the greater good.
disclosure, this is the average lifespan of any given Blade of Mamora.
Pretty much.
For him.
if you make it through 5 years, like, you're an elder here.
Solid.
Do you get health
Yeah.
care for that? I don't know.
There's no life insurance policy.
There you go.
I have to wonder how many lives have been needlessly thrown away in this organization by, I could take 3 seconds, go get this person, and still be fine. Or, nope, Pirates Code, they knew the rules. Whoever falls behind gets left behind.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to cash in their 401k.
I mean,
That's
probably a lot. Probably a whole lot.
Probably a
a
lot.
whole lot.
I wouldn't
Probably
say
not.
needlessly. I would say it's all to sort of serve the bigger picture.
Right.
Sure.
True, but people who could have been saved and weren't.
Well, you can't say
I mean, yeah, because we see it here. He took the time to try to disarm it.
Regress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, he was Regress was trying to disarm the bomb, and had he just evacuated with everybody else, he probably would have lived.
Yeah.
But
And he
he had to take
Regress
that chance.
was already living on
But 2
borrowed
seconds
time.
longer, he probably could have saved them. It just didn't work out his way there.
Yeah.
He
He took
did that
an
like 5
unnecessary
times.
risk.
And it worked out.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like with all the close calls they get, like this is probably just like, give me 2 more seconds and I'll get it.
Yeah.
I got it the last 10 times. I'll totally get it this time.
You can see it from both sides.
Does Josh Keaton do his voice? I think?
He does.
I think Josh
he
Keaton
does.
did his voice,
It's
yeah.
funny.
Of course like half the extra voices are Neil and the other half are Josh.
Yeah, and if
I'll
it's
tell
a
you-
lady, it's usually Cree or Kimberly. Any number of
Jeremy
them.
does a mean Koran though. Whenever
Yeah.
we need like,
I need to hear this.
There's-
if you don't mind.
I'm not gonna spoil, but yeah.
Okay.
It's
we got a lot of scratch with Jeremy doing
It's
it.
super fun.
So when's the blooper reel coming out?
We got a ton.
I'm sure we do.
We have one really amazing Reese blooper where he cussed us out because he was not happy.
wasn't
Like
happy.
he was going through this line, and it wasn't even like the hardest line, but I think he kind of psyched himself out a little bit with it. He was going through it, and every time I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, and then at the end it was just like, "F you guys," and it was incredible. I sent it out to the crew to listen to.
We
Put it
might
on
have
the
talked
chat.
about it last time, but he has this amazing way when he bails on a line where he's like, "Da-da-da-da-da-da, oh.
Yeah.
He just gets sad. Yeah, it's the greatest.
He deflates.
He deflates.
It's so funny.
Oh,
I need this in my life.
as long as my little text
And then,
tone.
I feel bad like laughing kind of in the booth, but the way he deflates makes it that much more funny.
Yeah, it does. It adds
It
to
really
makes
does.
it funny, yeah.
Your pain is hilarious.
And usually he's doing just fine, and then
Oh,
he
yeah.
just bails, and Andrea's like, "You were doing fine."
You're doing great. He also gets like the hardest, most like technical words.
I mean,
does.
Well, and it's not real science
No,
most of
it's
the
all
time.
fake.
It's all
Yeah.
fake
Voltron
science.
science.
It's
It's all gibberish.
All
I
the
mean, half
Altaian
the
words.
time we'll say like, you can kind of just say whatever you want because none of this makes any sense anyways. But
Yeah.
the words are on the paper, so he's trying to follow along.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough for anybody.
Oh
Poor
my
guy.
gosh, I love the meta joke. Oh wait, that's later this season. I
Yep,
guess we have to wait
that
till
is.
later.
Actually,
We'll
time
get to
bring
that
this up
later.
'cause
Yeah.
I keep forgetting parts of my introduction. I'm just so excited to be here.
I wrote it in
We're
the chat.
talking. You wrote it in the chat.
I
Thank
did.
you.
Yeah.
For now, we are keeping it spoiler free
Yeah.
beyond episodes 1 and 2. In about 20 minutes, give or take, we are going to swap it over to a discussion of the entire season because we have these lovely human beings in studio and we'd like to be able to talk about the entire season.
Yes.
But for now, that will have a spoiler warning before it. For now,
Yeah.
in the chat, in the comments, keep it spoiler free, guys. There are people who have enough self-control
Yeah.
to watch along with the
Be
after show.
cool.
That's up to you.
I don't.
No, we're like,
Well,
yeah,
our
watch it right now.
policy is to watch the whole thing and
Yeah,
then talk
I know.
about it.
I
So.
I'm just really happy that I was without like connection to my Wi-Fi for most of the weekend because I didn't get to watch until Sunday.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was just
Whereas,
like,
let
wow.
me be completely honest with you, I was at work at Halloween Horror Nights on Thursday night,
Oh my
and I had a really late shift. I was working for publicity, and I was like sitting in the office at VIP after I finished with my group, and I was like, guys, it's 11:30. In half an hour, the new season of Voltron drops on Netflix.
That's
And what reception did you receive? Crickets?
People were like, what?
Ah. It's all good.
I came home from a week-long
Oh, that's
project
right.
at work.
Yeah.
Completely wrecked
Right.
me and was like, all right, it's up.
Cut
Yeah.
to me watching the first 2 episodes literally that Thursday night when I got home. So I'm in my bed watching episode 2, like no joke, full on sobbing. Just like tears and snot. Like it's not pretty. But
Let's
I was
segue to that and then we can
very
come
emotionally
back.
affected.
See, I was lucky. I was homesick, so I was like, and turned it out.
All of it.
I got spoiled for episode 2
I can't believe
by Netflix.
What?
Oh.
That'll
Because
happen.
we
Oh,
watched
because of the
thumbnail.
thumbnail.
Because we
thumbnail.
Chromecast it, and while it runs through the credits, it has the
Yeah.
thumbnail for the next episode.
Aw.
And the thumbnail was Matt and Pidge embracing, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, it's
So
tough.
she watched it later, and I
sorry.
was like, don't look at any of the thumbnails.
So
Don't. They
I
have
literally
spoilers.
covered my eyes as soon as the credits started
Oh.
rolling.
While I
for every
reached
Good.
over to her
episode.
computer and hit next episode. So you walked into it unspoiled, and I walked into it going, this is a great emotional moment. But I know it's not real.
So,
Netflix.
should we talk about like
Yes,
how
Yes, why not?
That's where we are.
Listen,
that's what
I
we're
was
doing.
100%
tried.
convinced that it was real. So you have no idea how much I bought that. So kudos
Well, that's
to you
great.
guys.
It was-
That was the intention.
And
And
it
it
was-
was actually Joaquim's idea, the whole fake out at the grave.
Yeah.
It was a really awesome, dramatic moment. But it was beautiful.
It
But
was
it
I
was
I
beautifully
know,
storyboarded,
you know,
and Bex's performance.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yes.
yes. No, seriously, like I didn't like know any of that because like when we're recording and stuff, like sometimes like that episode I don't even know I don't even know if I'm
mean,
in that
yeah, like
episode
no
already.
one.
So I
You
definitely
had
didn't
one
hear
line
it.
about
Yeah,
Fluto
which we
beans.
just recorded later,
That's
basically.
right.
You
Yeah.
know,
So
so
was
I was
she
watching that,
alone
not
for
knowing
most
any
of
of it, and it's it's such a good episode. Oh my gosh, that scene, like, and I know that like he comes back, obviously, but I was like, maybe he. Does it? I was like, I mean, he's recorded on this show like a lot, but I don't think they.
Maybe it's all flashbacks.
I was like, what?
I mean, we were affected by her performance when
I mean,
she
yeah.
did it in the booth. We were like,
I mean, I still cry when I watch the episode,
yeah.
and I knew from day one that I was like, Matt's gonna be back, and he's gonna be a rebel, and he's gonna be an action star, and like, and
Is definitely one of my new favorite characters.
Great.
Their dynamic is just
It's
precious.
so but it's funny because
He's
it's
just kind of Will Smithing at Pidge.
Yeah,
the
But as you
Yeah.
said, Lauren, like he is a rebel and an action star, but like at the heart of it, like he is a huge dork.
oh,
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
That's the greatest thing.
He's still the Matt that she knows, but he had to like evolve, but he didn't leave himself behind or lose himself at all.
Which is
He's a huge dork that was literally the only person that Pidge could relate to because she was way too smart to relate to anyone in her class. She was smarter than her own teacher, and she had no one except this guy that went off into space and kind of left her behind, not intentionally.
I mean, speaking of dork, I mean, can we talk about the meeting of Allura and?
I mean, that's
that's next episode.
Okay,
in
fine.
like 10 minutes.
You gotta wait.
In a little bit. Yeah.
Not to jump ahead, but going full. And whenever this show chooses to go full anime, it's always a delight.
It makes me so
Oh,
happy.
Yeah, and that was all Steve on.
Yeah.
Like he,
Bless him.
you know, responsible for the
Yeah.
Caltech moment we can't talk about.
Yeah.
And like the ridiculous golden boy Matt that we can't talk about.
And you know, he did a bunch of those boards for Pidge.
And
finding-
yeah,
finding
so
the
yeah,
bracelet.
The
Yeah.
phrasing,
Really.
the musical.
It was beautiful.
Yes, the
everything.
music especially. I mean, the music in the whole show is
Music
great,
is
but like in that
amazing.
moment too, I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's so good. It's
But,
so
yeah.
epic. Yeah, no, seriously, guys,
Even
I loved it.
the
Beautifully
rendering of the rain, when
composed,
we were
yeah.
getting that
Yeah.
footage back, and it was like
Yeah.
going through the light, you could see the
Yeah.
light.
And it said,
Yeah.
I mean, in that transition from her like looking at sort of the monument that was a memento to all of these rebels who had died,
Yeah.
and
To the like 187,000.
No, like
Yeah.
127,000.
So dark, but
It
it's
was
great.
crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Many.
Even down to
I
like
had-
the voice, like I don't know, like the robot voice that plays in the recording.
Do
It was
you
like,
know who that
You know
was?
who that
who
was?
is that?
Andrea Romano.
That's right.
Yeah, we super roboted her up, but you know, Andrea. There's a like, kind of a tradition of her doing like the computer voices, and she
Yeah.
was always the Batmobile on all the Warner Brothers
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
That's so
And
funny.
so she's done like the castle ship, and then she did like the little helmet translation.
oh, that's
Right.
amazing.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's super funny. But yeah, no, it has that kind of just unsettling like tone. It's just also so good.
Yeah.
It's monotone.
Well, I think one of my favorite things about that entire sequence is that it goes on just long enough. It's one of those things where like the pacing of it, it's not too fast. It allows the weight of what she's going through to really sink in.
It's awesome to hear.
And so it was perfectly
beautiful.
paced.
Because for me, I was having that moment. I mean, I know that a lot of people don't like Disney sequels, but Mulan 2, when you get to that,
Shang.
if you've seen it, when you think that Shang is dead,
Mm.
spoiler, sorry.
Wow.
Oh my
It's
god.
the only good thing about that movie.
Wow.
Sorry, but
The
there's
best
that.
thing about that is the weird frame by frame animation that you can pull sometimes.
Yeah, but I love it because she runs onto the battlefield and she's on the same kind of hilltop and she sees all like the battle happening and it was just it gave me that same like I stopped breathing for a second.
not
It was
gonna
crazy.
lie. I got like straight up in terms of like the emotional weight of it. I felt like I was watching a Don Bluth movie.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it
Yeah.
was just a continual punch to the heart.
Especially when Bex is screaming, I was like, I can't right now. Like I really just.
And I think that even just the episode and a half before that moment did a really good job in setting it up because we
Yeah.
have all of the stuff for the Blade of Marmorba and life is cheap and people die. And then we have, God, I wrote her name down. Tiosh.
Yeah.
Like, very
Yeah,
heartfelt
yeah, yeah.
scene. And he might not have it anymore, but here's his frequency. Like, oh, there's a reason he might not have it anymore.
Yeah.
So we very much set up that no one is safe. And then we hit this, and we're like, oh, okay. We very much established established that this was very much a possibility.
Yeah.
As I said,
And then we run
That
smack
was
into
real.
it.
I 100% bought it. I 100%
That makes me very
thought it
happy.
was
I
good.
would have bought it without that spoiler.
No,
I would have.
Yeah, if I didn't see it, it was actually my husband who ruined it for me because he was like, "Honey, the numbers," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Never mind, I'm just gonna
There's
let you
8
do that."
minutes
Wow.
I didn't even think about that. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
That is assuming it is Matt and not a clone.
Oh my goodness.
Gone deep.
Stop it.
But on a
Stop it.
I mean,
side
everybody
note,
on the show is a clone, by the way.
well, you know, they all died in episode
Yeah.
1.
Some of them are probably on 2 or 3 clones by now,
Yeah.
realistically.
This
They've
is
all
a
had to have died like 5
ladder
times.
scenario.
Yeah.
There's a small child looking into a Voltron snow globe and daydreaming everything. It's me! It's me!
Doing that, shaking the.
On a side note, Tiosh was
too early.
actually voiced by Lacey, who did Naima's voice.
Oh,
But she has like a much higher voice.
Yeah.
And so what we ended up doing is we pitched her down, but because she has like a naturally high voice, it sounded freaking awesome.
Yeah, it sounded
So a lot
really
of times
cool.
when you pitch people down, it starts to sound kind of drunk and like.
Distorted.
I was like, oh my god, she has an amazing deep voice.
Yeah.
This is lovely.
Well, and
awesome.
not to jump ahead to a little later on down the line, but I just as a whole, I love how many women are in this season.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Thank you.
I mean, it started last season. Really.
It started last season,
The
but
lady
like
showed up to play, and more
So
showed up
this season has been like all, what do we have, 13 episodes total? 3 and 4.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Because we all know
But-
it got divvied up in the middle.
Yes.
That's not a secret.
But yeah, other shows I feel like all these side characters would typically default male. So I just like seeing a little variety. It's always nice.
Hyper
Well,
competent
good.
women.
Awesome.
I also wrote down Lieutenant Ozar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An auspicious occasion.
Yeah, man.
He was immediately glorious.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Which is
I
he?
think
Is
it's
he
the sea captain beard.
He's
sort of
the one that met
first
up
guy
with
that-
Paige when she first landed.
Oh, John
That little
DiMaggio
blue-
does
That's
this.
right.
Yeah,
John DiMaggio.
he does.
That
He does
might
like
have been
3
why.
voices.
Yeah, that
He
makes
does.
a lot of sense.
He does
now.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
He's
gonna
also
say
the bounty hunter.
John DiMaggio.
He does, like,
yeah,
3
he did
voices
like
in
a
that
lot
episode,
of voices
yeah.
this season,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the episode that I wasn't there in the record, so I didn't actually cross paths with them during that, which is funny.
But when you were listening, were you like,
I was like,
that's it.
John, John, he's everywhere.
It's so funny.
That's what I do with Travis Willingham.
It's
Our-
Jeremy. It's not like you grew up like recording in a booth
No,
with
it's
him
not
like
like
every day of your
I
life.
recorded him every Tuesday for like
That's
8
so
years. Nah.
Our design or background and prop supervisor Christine Bion is a huge Futurama fan. So she came to that record and like she was like jumping up and down, and he's super nice, signs her stuff, like says goodbye, walks out the door, and she yells like, Bender, we love you! And you hear down the hall, shut up, baby, I know it. And, oh my god, it was incredible.
I would give my left Voltron leg to hear that. So fast.
Oh, what a nice, what an awesome guy. That's so cool.
He is. He's super
Super
awesome
rad,
and like
yeah.
just so good with his fans. Just an amazing dude. And really versatile. Just crazy versatile.
Oh, yeah, I know. God, his IMDb page is just like, how long are we scrolling?
Doesn't end.
Page down, oh God, it's still going. Yeah, so I love the solo mission. I love just watching Paige go through all these steps, and just the moment with the black market arms dealer talking with him, and it's just that really all I wanted was the information.
Was that also John?
That was also John.
John.
That was the third one.
Everything.
That was the third one.
There's
There was
yeah.
a conversation with John DiMaggio, but there was also the conversation with John DiMaggio.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. He was literally talking to himself at some
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna say, wasn't there a conversation where he's talking to himself?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah, the bounty
happens.
hunter and the black market.
Yeah, there you go. But for this episode for me really drove home how much Pidge has grown, especially the line at the end, like, I can't believe I have to go through middle school without you, and I went, oh
Isn't that
my
crazy?
God, I keep forgetting she's tiny.
Yeah.
She's a youngin. Like,
But
She's a
this
little
went
girl.
from her first solo battle in season 1 was a pickup game, a lot of running and hiding and praying, and this one is just like, really, we're doing violence. Oh my God, fine.
I know, that's the greatest turn. And when she just totally gets like, she gets up on him by like kicking the table out from under him. She,
Yeah.
she had the whole
Waxing
thing
him.
mapped out ahead of time.
Yeah,
We could do this the easy way or the fun way.
Yeah.
You had to do it the hard way.
That bounty hunter fight though at the end,
Oh my
you
goodness.
get to see the
cool.
two of them team up.
It was darling.
nice.
Super darling. And yeah, we gotta give credit to both Mitch Iverson, who wrote it,
Yes.
and
Chung Il.
Chung Il are one of like our blessings from Korea, Studio Mir. He did the whole main title, like that beautiful main title, and he did like so many amazing storyboards for us, including the fight and like the lovely flashback ending with Pigeon
right.
Matt.
Oh, that's super cool.
And he came up with the move that Matt pulls off there, where he sort of slides
Slides
under
and, like,
pulls
yes.
the bow. When we saw that, we were like,
Oh my
"How
god!
did you do this?"
Like he figured it out because
Yeah.
like it was like there was stuff in the script and we were like I don't know, do something cool, and then he just did something cool.
Something really awesome.
Awesome action here.
That's right.
Yeah, that's usually the direction.
Exactly.
Insert cool ninja move.
Well, and it also shows us how much Matt has changed, because we've seen
Exactly.
very little of him. We got bits in season 1, and that's about it. And now we have this. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
a couple years in space will do this.
Yeah.
I feel like it was such a good payoff finally meeting Matt at this point in the
Yes.
present, because up to this point it was like, okay, I sort of care about Matt because Pidge cares so much about Matt and is clearly very important to her. I also have a very close relationship with my own brother, so
Yeah.
on that level I understood it. But then him actually, like, once you actually met him and found out who he was, I really
Brings it
adore
all
him.
Which is in their family. Their victory cry is Tesla.
That's right.
Fantastic. And
I love
that's
it.
finally getting some character development from Matt is something that really did sell the fake out part, most of the way through
Oh,
the episode,
definitely,
because
yeah.
I watch a lot of shows where they just don't care about your feelings, or they specifically care about breaking your heart, where they will wait until just before a character dies to give them all their character development, so it hits at like this emotional high point. And so giving Matt all this character
You
development,
felt
you're
it
like,
coming.
you're like, oh no.
But also, it also is like, it also basically is like setting you up to be like, oh, this person's gonna die because they're finally getting some moments
Yeah,
to shine.
exactly.
They're coming to, yeah, exactly. So
It's like, oh my god,
Every
we
show
get
does
to
that.
keep him.
But I
But I was
also
also worried about that.
I also love
Yeah.
too that they make a point of saying in the episode that like he's in the garrison on his brain power alone, that he's not as physically capable as everybody else. So when you actually see him fighting later in the episode, you're like, yeah, space will do that
He's
too.
learned a couple things in space.
And he
Fake
fights
his own
like
death.
someone, yeah,
yeah.
and he fights like someone who's not a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speed,
Yeah.
not strength style, and I love it.
Especially
There's
since
so much thought into all
That's
of this.
awesome.
Yeah.
So glad you guys took notice.
Oh, so great.
This is.
I
what
did
we're
want him
here
to
for.
have like ripped off sleeves and big muscles, but I was like, I guess they're in space and maybe you don't want your arms to freeze off. I don't
It's
know.
under
does
his,
got-
it's
he's got
under
the
his
scar.
poncho.
Yeah.
he's got the scar. The scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I do like
immediately makes you cool.
I mean, he's got a lot
If
of clothing
only
on.
he
He's
had a
probably-
robot arm.
Yeah, he's probably super ripped underneath all the
Oh,
clothing.
don't get me started on
Probably
that. As a Full Metal Alchemist fan, I'm like, yes, I want it.
Everyone has a robot
Yes.
There you go.
arm. He's got a robot leg too.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Just give me the fandom. It's
He's
fine.
a robot. We have a clone and a robot.
Oh no!
There you go.
Ever since, you can't break me anymore. We're gonna do it this way.
Actually, I
No,
think
Katie.
I can. I think I can. Going
don't do
off
it.
of the.
Don't
I've-
roll those dice, Alexa.
I always try to give you the benefit of the doubt.
It's a time-honored Voltron tradition, my dear.
All right.
Going off of the whole, he came and recorded a lot. Are we sure he's not dying? Oh yeah, no, he absolutely died. Pidge had a mental break, and she's imagining him for the rest of
Oh, snap.
You know what?
It's a lot of flashbacks.
Tell
A
me.
lot of
I'm just done. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
That was just straight up me.
You were waiting on that.
I was gonna let it go, and then you challenged me.
That's true.
I
But
think
no,
you
but I-
owe someone an apology.
No,
No, I don't.
No,
Sorry,
it's fine.
Jeremy.
I'm so confused.
It's a
Your face
tradition.
right there was amazing.
It's a tradition
That's
on
an
Voltron.
episode.
Yeah.
I say something that makes her cry, scream, or take her headphones off in sheer frustration.
Yeah, it's been a tradition for all of our anime shows.
Because I'm a terrible human.
But also, it's. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, wait. If we get to keep him, is he actually okay? Like, let's just be honest.
That's
I
the
wasn't-
other worry if you get to
Yeah.
keep him.
I was like, but I'm just
This is
happy.
why we can't have nice things.
I'm just saying, animation has ruined my loves. Okay, that's just how it works.
This has been me since middle school. I'm like, I really like that character, and then they die horribly. I'm
Or
like,
they're evil. And
I
I'm
need
like,
to stop
"Ugh,
liking people.
Hi.
That's what you get for wanting.
Yes,
things.
you learned a lesson about wanting things. is there anything from this episode that was behind the scenes or on the cutting room floor that didn't quite make it that you'd like people to know about?
I think Steve Vaughn's birthday made it into the
wait.
code.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he put his little birthday in there.
That's right.
So I can't remember. Was it like April 22nd?
As the wrong birthday for Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
That's right.
in the helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
The
awesome.
coordinates. So
It's so cool.
there's that. I can't remember anything else.
Just a lot of crying.
It was
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, a ton of crying.
So, yeah.
Yes, a lot
Lots
of
of tears.
A lot of
I mean,
cuteness.
it's not every day. It's a small detail, but seeing the water run down the mask, like you don't see that all. It's those little details that
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
make those.
Totally.
Oh,
really
And-
stick out.
beautiful. Yeah.
Chong Il, the board artist who did the ending, literally boarded the wind. Like, just, he had, like, Pidge's hair was animating, her
That's
dress
right.
was blowing,
It
like,
was fully
just
animated.
all in the storyboard. I'm like,
Yeah.
you are an insane man, which
It's
he
like-
is.
It's like,
But he's, like Joaquim
just-
says, a beautiful mind.
Yeah.
He's
Beautiful
just,
mind. He's got equations going all
Yeah.
the time. He's,
It's like, to me, that felt like, in every Miyazaki film, that everybody somehow has the ability to act with their hair.
yeah.
Stands on end with
Which
her
I
hair.
am really trying to achieve.
Train those
Good
folks.
hair
Like, you
accent.
can just take mine. Mine does it on its own.
It's really hard in real life. It takes a lot of work. To
All right, so we should probably move back to the first episode because we touched on a few things and then went straight for crying in a heap on the
I
floor.
mean, that was pretty much how that worked out.
kind of our end destination for a lot of Voltron episodes.
Yes.
Just like, ugh.
You gotta get right
I mean,
to the
the first
emotional
episode
heart.
was great. I mean, you needed that setup of Keith being able to kind of separate and go off and deal with his own life so that Pidge could kind of go do the same with her own in this situation.
No, and as much as he cares about Shiro, having Shiro back in any capacity just hamstrung his leading confidence.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh, yeah. And I don't think that storyline is done.
Absolutely.
No.
There's still a good 50-50 bet going on whether Shiro makes it to the end of the series.
Wow.
That's a big
let me
bet.
say, he's going to have a lot of character development.
Okay, but over a course of all in one episode.
Time out, because I saw.
Oh my god, you guys are gonna make me cry on the show.
I was browsing the internet, as you do. And,
Oh, here we go.
and
Never
somebody, I can't remember if it was on Instagram or Twitter or where, had like zoomed in on the background of a flashback
Yeah.
with Matt and Pidge. And who was in the background, but it certainly appeared to be Keith and Shiro.
Yep.
Show me the
yeah,
evidence.
It's the Kerberos mission. That's
Yeah.
where they were taking pictures.
That's right.
Pidge family, final picture before they're off on their mission.
I'm just
And-
picturing
And who else was going on that mission? Shiro was going on that
It was a
mission.
good. We found that too, and we commented and said, "Well done."
I put that.
That's
shit
correct.
I'm just picturing
Oh,
Emma,
I just
like
Ah, no, you're
sitting
fine.
in
That
front of
word.
a monitor going, there, zoom in and enhance.
Well, and this was before Keith got punted from the garrison.
Sure.
He was still in his garrison
Yeah.
uniform.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Hey, backstory, guys. There's more of it.
yeah, man.
It
Yeah.
exists.
Say it, Jeremy.
Believe me,
Shiro
this
was
is
still
the
his
fandom
guiding
that goes
light.
through
It was
frame by
good.
frame and just mines them. Is there backstory here? Has anyone noticed this? There was a camera shutter when Shiro's eyes dilated. Oh my god!
But you
That
know,
season was
listen. Shiro was having a time. He was not able to connect with the Black Lion. I thought it was because he's a clone of Shiro. And
Yeah,
doesn't
I
know
thought
Shiro.
too. Definitely thought he
I
wasn't
still
real.
kind of think that. But you know,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I feel like she's like, well, you're not like my last ex. Okay, all right, let's do this.
right.
I'm good.
Close
I'm
enough.
good.
You bring up you bring up a good point. I guess
guess
lives
I-
are at stake. So yeah, okay.
We'll be nice this once.
You know.
And let's talk a little bit about the razzle dazzle.
Hey, man.
God bless lion shows.
official spoiler warning.
No, they had a show.
Oh,
in the
they
first-
did.
Yeah.
in the first episode.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, it just gets more epic later, but he does it in the first episode. He does it like twice in that
He
episode.
does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we started with
Razzle
that
dazzle.
song.
Razzle dazzle.
I have it written in all in caps in my notes
I
more than
feel,
once.
I feel
yeah.
that like this was like the moment that Lance was waiting for.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
we can talk about that more when we get to the full season
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
too.
yeah.
But yeah, no, he is all about being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he had that line in the Mermaid episode where it's like, what was it? He faked a stomach ache and he got out of school because he's such a good actor.
That's right.
Acting!
He's a
That
great
was the
actor.
thing.
He's a great actor.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Lance is, when I read that line too, I was like, perfect.
What I
Yes.
signed up for.
Yes, this is exactly what I want. It's also fun too because like I think in the last episode drop, like the last 7, season 3 technically, there was a lot of like definitely a lot of character development for Lance in that.
Oh,
in that,
definitely.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
in that half and him definitely maturing and growing and stuff too. So it is fun to like definitely have those episodes where you're still like, oh yeah, okay.
But
He's still
yeah,
Lance.
He's still Lance.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is totally him still. So that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel too that and I loved all of the character development for Lance last season. It was so gratifying to see somebody who had. I mean, not that he'd been 100% comic relief before. That's the beauty of the show is nobody is that. But Lance definitely has sort of a lightheartedness about him.
Oh, that's my
and-
favorite part about playing him.
Yeah.
It's all Jeremy's fault because he's good at it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're mad that Lance is funny, just all hate mail goes to this guy.
If you're
But it's
mad
true
that
that-
Lance is funny, you have really missed the point.
It's true that I mean, in the last season, like he did get really nice moments of figuring out where his place was on the team and having a lot of, and it started the season before too, where he started to deal with this sort of self doubt of like, where do I?
What is my
What
thing?
is my thing?
Yeah.
Definitely not a mathematician.
There
though.
was
No.
there was so much self-reflection. It was really it's always nice when you get to see the different sides of all these different characters.
Yeah.
But it is tough with so many characters. to
Yeah.
just have, everybody will have their time
Yeah.
in the spotlight.
I love this whole
Yeah.
season is great.
Yeah.
There's certain comments like, oh, like Lance deserves better. Like where was he at this whole season? I was like,
this
he
was-
had lots of stuff last
No,
season. He
this
has
was-
a buttload of stuff coming
Yeah.
up. We're chilling.
And he's
Yeah.
razzle dazzle.
yeah,
man.
what are you talking about?
This also
For the war
to
effort,
me, I
of
feel
course.
like Voltron in a way fits kind of nicely into like the sort of like Sailor Moon model of like it's mostly about Usagi, but like everybody gets their own episode. every
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly. Yes,
I
for sure.
think while we're talking about this, now is probably a good time to put up that spoiler
Spoiler
warning.
alert.
yes.
All right.
Full season
Spoiler
discussion,
alert.
Everybody
so can
dies.
we-
Oh, was I
Oh,
no!
no.
Sorry.
I was waiting for the official spoiler warning from the
Sorry,
soundboard, but
sorry.
I don't think we're getting it. So
No.
That was it, guys.
No.
That was a
Alright,
spoiler
we
alert.
are now talking about the
Thanks for
full
providing
season.
that.
So let's do this. Lance had a good little bit in the last episode of this season. that I
Yes,
was
thank you.
very
I'm so glad we're
enjoyed.
talking about this.
Yeah, no, his little pep talk.
Pep talk.
Yeah, pep talk
Yes.
with Alora. No, he definitely has those tender moments, and especially, I think Lance is also really good at like he knows like when someone needs to step up and take that. And there's not someone else like there to do that.
Yeah.
He's just he ends up being a really good team player.
And it is interesting for somebody for a character like Lance, who previously discussed, he's very comfortable being in the spotlight.
Yes.
He likes being the center of
loves
attention.
it, yeah.
Yes,
So for
yes.
him to be able to kind of step back and be like, no, you can do this. I believe in you. Like
Yeah.
it's a good quality.
Yeah, and at this point, like you guys were saying earlier, like they've definitely grown as a team. They're like a family now. So it's that also that respect and that care and that love for each person on the team. And so so he is confident being like, I want you. I know you can do this. Like nobody else can right now. It's all you. Get it? As opposed to being like, oh wait, I think I can do something. Yeah, he doesn't need to do that.
And Lance started in the blue line, which is
Yeah,
a support
exactly.
line
Yeah.
that holds
Yeah.
Voltron up. And he's since graduated to the right hand, which is like the ultimate support to the head.
Yeah.
And he's, I think it's kind of an indication of like what's beneath that surface. That guy who loves to be in the spotlight, but really he's really good at knowing everyone else's strengths
I
and
think
being that team
looking
player.
deeper though, he comes from a big family.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
So I think within his family dynamic, he's very much maybe that guy. I think to people outside, he wants to be front and center.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He wants to show some
he wants
like
the attention.
uniquity and be
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
because there is that big family.
That's
and stuff,
right.
So it's like kind of wants to be a little bit more front and center and
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah,
he's,
and that's why. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, and I was going to say, and again, and that runs so parallel with the storyline
Yeah.
of him being like, I don't really know where I fit in on
Yeah.
this team.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what my thing is.
yeah.
Leave the math to Pitch.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. Like, there's usually a point like at that everybody goes, what is my role on this
Oh,
team?
yeah.
And Lance had it early on when when he added everything up. Keith definitely had it. Keith definitely had it when he's like,
Keith's still struggling with it.
yeah. Alora had it when the red lion didn't respond.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine how heartbreaking
That
that
was a
must be.
heartbreaking moment for
Karan
me.
had it too when he really wanted.
That's right.
Came out in the commoner shades. And
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite moments from the show, just period. It's so funny. And then it gets up and he's like, and then it just flies away. He's like, oh, going for a lip?
It's like, so the thing it just flew away. I don't know what to tell you.
All right.
Guys,
The red lion just ran away.
that's right.
So,
the long-established tradition of lions going to pick up wayward
Like-
paladins.
Yeah.
Like, fine. Oh my God, why are you in the void of space again?
I'll do this.
That would hurt so badly. It's not like the lion doesn't respond to you. It responds to you by moving away from
By
you.
ignoring you. Yeah.
I can either go babysit my paladin or I can let this guy drive me. I'm gonna go find
He's like, nah.
I did love, though, as we started to touch on, but now we can, that first moment of Matt showing up and meeting Alora.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite moment. Totally going like full anime.
Oh, yeah.
Deep,
And
deep
like
level.
lands behind her as he's and his like death stare like knocks Matt back.
With the
So
horror
funny.
movie violin.
Yeah.
They're psycho violence.
You know what's awesome is
So
that
great.
hearing that in Japanese is
Really?
incredible. because
Yeah.
It's
I
been fully
can imagine.
translated.
Oh my God.
Fully
It
dubbed,
it's,
yeah.
it's like reverse engineered
I do that when I
anime.
get home.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally gonna change my language to Japanese.
Yeah, yeah. It's really cool.
it's pretty crazy.
Oh my god, that Korean
very
episode must be
impressed.
crazy.
Yeah.
In Japanese. Sorry. I'm just thinking about it in my head.
I feel like that, and we'll talk about that a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
more next week, but I feel like that resonated a lot with Japanese audiences because Sentai shows.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that Lance can milk a cow. Not gonna
Really?
lie.
I thought
Like,
it made sense.
skill.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Right?
Yeah, I thought it made sense.
It's oh my gosh, doing the ADR for for that scene, I like seeing it animated is so funny. Oh my gosh. And there's their faces of pure horror.
Yeah, I didn't know what to
seeing this.
expect. When that episode came up, I was like, okay, he's gonna. Oh, okay, that was awkward. All
You're a
right.
beautiful.
think about how weird that must be to
Yeah.
aliens looking
It
down
really
at you.
Yeah.
Work in harmony with these other animals and drink the
yeah.
other animals' milk.
It's
That's
like
wrong.
Slurm from Futurama.
Yes.
Yeah, it is just like
Like,
that.
that has to be
It tastes
like,
delicious until you know where it comes from.
It's like so thick. It's like it's already a milk.
Oh man, it's the worst. The
No,
worst.
man, that's when you shake it and get butter.
Yeah.
Oh.
A little part of me, and obviously I saw the clip of this before the season actually aired.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there was a tiny part of me that wasn't entirely sure that Kaltenecker was an actual cow.
Confirmed.
Kaltenecker is a cow
And it's a she.
from Earth,
Yeah, and
from
it's
the
a
Earth
she.
store in
As
the mall.
most cows are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know how she got there. That's what I want to know. Well,
They rode her from the mall.
How did she get to where?
to the space
to
mall,
the
like
mall in
yeah.
Best
So
Buy.
they
The
just
gray
took her-
alien when he's doing his
Abducted.
alien abduction.
That's
He got
okay. That's
he
right.
collects
I
all
forget
the
about
farmer
that.
didn't make it. The cow made it.
Yeah, he just went out, he abducted the cow.
Yeah. Okay. that
Took a
makes more
few
sense
video
now.
game systems,
Yeah.
a
We sold the
DeLorean.
farmer to the Galra, and
I loved seeing how they had to like jury rig the video game.
Oh.
system.
Oh, that was one
That
of our
gave me-
favorites.
That's the best.
You know, just
Hilarious.
riffing on that whole like Paige obsessing about her video game system, and then like, where do I plug this in?
Yeah, where do I
Nowhere.
get these RCA cables? Like, what's going
Meanwhile,
on?
She's a
you know,
genius.
flash
She's gonna
forward a few
find
months,
an
she's found everything she needed to find.
yeah.
And then, of course, in typical Lance fashion, he jacked her headphones, and now he's jacked her video game system.
Yeah.
That's just what he
Doing
does.
his thing.
And I have to do like I play old systems, and if you want to do them high res, you got to run them through like
do.
SCART
Yeah, you
cables.
gotta do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was high tech.
It was very realistic.
Yeah, it definitely brought back. I'm like, oh, Twitch memories.
and the video game itself, I mean,
Final Fantasy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
up. I was like, oh
the
boy.
pixel art in that and the attention to detail was just so spot
So
on.
I was trying to
great,
follow
yeah.
the commands and everything. I was like, what is he thinking?
Yeah.
And even just the, can we get your help? Not right now.
Not right now.
Okay, now.
Yeah, and the guy, Michael or
Michael.
Mikkel, I don't think we
Yeah.
ever figured out how to pronounce it.
I'm going with
From
Michael.
Brussels.
From Brussels.
We had it took us 20 minutes every time we had to like connect with a call to this guy
'Cause we
because
don't
we'd
know
be
how to
sitting there
call
like
out.
trying to call out from the studio,
Oh, yeah.
pressing the long distance, and then it kept like failing. Took us like 20 minutes the first time. Second time, like, we got this. We know what to do. 20 minutes again.
Yeah.
Third time, Nora, our very much more intelligent than us old fogies, production manager, she figured it out.
Okay.
She had it down.
But we would
that
get
guy,
on the phone with him in a huff,
Yeah.
like in a rage, like, "Are you there?" And he'd be like, "I'm here." So polite.
and that,
so,
like, I have no idea what time it was for him.
Yeah, it was probably
Like
2
4
in the morning.
a.m. or something. He's a super nice guy and you're super sweet and literally did all of that stuff himself. He had
Yeah.
like a kind of storyboard to follow, and we'd give him some direction, like we want this monster to look cooler, and then like
we'd give him,
the
like,
big final
PS1,
move.
era graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the final inferno or whatever it's called when it like rotates around. Like he did that on
He did it
his
on his
own.
own.
Really?
Just
Yeah.
completely on his own. We're like, we need like a better, cool final move. Can you
Yeah.
think of something? He's like, yeah, no worries, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
And he just does it, and he's amazing.
Super,
like,
super
awesome.
polite.
and the nicest guy ever.
I was definitely having hardcore flashbacks to the first time I ever died miserably in a
Yeah.
boss fight.
And the
time
crestfallen
you
sort of
take-
like, oh.
The first time you take on a Tonberry.
Yeah. And you're like,
Oh my
why?
goodness, yeah, damn little
Golden
knife.
Sun.
Just bam, bam, bam. Little jerk.
I
Hey.
played Golden Sun. I got stuck on that ship. I had nowhere else to level up, and I was too low level for the boss fight. I remember that.
Golden Sun had permadeath, didn't it?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
No, that's
thinking
Fire Emblem.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And
I was
Final
like,
Fantasy Tactics.
yep.
Lots of tactical RPGs. They're just like, if you did, you did.
Yeah.
No, Golden Sun
was
had an
hard.
eye and a rock and a plot that made no sense.
Yeah, we referenced, I think, Phantasy Star
Oh
pretty
my
heavily.
God.
So many, yeah.
And
That makes sense.
Suikoden.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I
Suikoden.
love Suikoden.
Suikoden.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking earlier about the like the fake made up like sciencey words and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that we can actually talk about the Koran episode.
Oh,
okay.
So the whole meta bit where he's talking about like it doesn't matter, like none of the words are real anyway. It's like the real words would be just as confusing.
Right.
I was laughing so hard at that part. I was like,
The
that's
real science words are also not actual.
yeah,
real
exactly.
Yeah.
That's us literally every single record. Like none of this makes sense. None of these words are real.
Just
That's
say
it.
something.
very
Just
true.
say something.
I feel like that was our Ember Island Players episode.
It really was.
It was.
That was
Yeah.
kind
Oh
of
my
what,
God.
when we went into it, we are like, this is going to be our little, this episode where we kind of do ridiculous versions, overblown versions of their personalities.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Was maybe my favorite episode.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's funny though because I think there's still a bit of a disconnect. That was really an episode for us internally to sort
Yeah.
of just kind of come to terms with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, they're speaking directly to us about this." Is like we were thinking this a very long time ago.
Yeah. Like this
I'll
this
never get rid of you,
episode,
Shiro. You're the most
yeah.
That's right.
I
Okay.
mean, it was written and it was in production long before.
And Lance just being incensed that Shiro was the most popular character.
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
good.
But
His
it's funny
expression.
because when that happened, I thought the same thing. I was like, what about Lance?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's such a meta episode. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
I love that it's basically a spiritual successor to the Space Mall episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, go back to the mall.
Literally do
Yeah.
go back to the mall.
Exactly.
Reppets,
Alright.
the
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
Varkon.
Varkon with the
Varkon.
little
Little
toy.
action
Well,
figures.
we'll cover that
Yeah.
a little more
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're really going to get into it. But just looking at the overall season, look at everything you've accomplished in just these 6 episodes. Is there anything else you wanted to put in there that didn't quite make it?
I mean, we originally sort of had many different versions of this story, and some where certain characters stayed away for a longer amount of time, which allowed. And so you kind of have to shuffle things around. I don't know if we lost anything. We just sort of had to shuffle things around
Yeah.
a bit more than losing anything.
Yeah, like I would have loved to have, I think, gotten to know the rebels a bit more,
Yeah.
and given them like a better introduction. But sometimes you just like you gotta fit that stuff
Yeah.
in the amount of time you got.
I
And
think
so,
Tiash was one that we were like, it would have been nice to see her do some stuff before she
kicked
Yeah.
it. You know, yeah.
she was in that ship over there, and it's like
Yeah.
You
But
do what you got to do.
yeah, you gotta make it happen.
And the Rebel Commander Olia?
Oh, she's my favorite.
I don't remember
I love
meeting her
her.
before those episodes.
I
but
know. That's
love
the
her.
thing. Is
Yeah.
like that's one thing. Is like I would have loved to have been able to introduce her in a better
Yeah.
way. But she kind of shows up
Yeah.
for the
she's
plan, and she's there and she does cool stuff. But yeah, it's like, gosh, it would have been nice to get to know some of these characters a little bit.
She was like, I mean, just not to bring in a Star Wars reference, but she was like gold leader. It was like, you
Totally,
knew that guy
yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, he gave himself, you know,
I mean,
up for
I was
the...
also gonna sort of make a Star Wars
Yeah.
reference that that's very much what this season was. It was kind of like building the Rebel
Yeah,
Alliance.
totally.
Exactly.
You know, which interestingly enough is very much where they're at in Star Wars Rebels as well. So there's
Yeah.
sort of like
Yeah.
this nice parallel with my two space shows. But
It's like a new TV show, My Two Space Shows.
my two
You're welcome. My two space bands. And I think the one thing that we didn't hit on here, and that now that we're into full spoiler territory, dear God, Lotor.
That
Cursed
guy.
sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
part where he dislocated his shoulder,
Oh.
I think we all
That was Lauren.
Hey.
I've
Sometimes you
never-
gotta get stuff done, man.
Blame Lauren.
No, I bowed down, but also I fully shuddered. And, like my whole spine went. I was like, oh, that was so gross, but it was beautiful at the same time. So
Did we get ourselves into a corner with that one? Was it like,
Like,
how's he gonna get
well,
out of
yeah,
this?
it was like, what? How is he doing this? He's got they cuffed him.
Yeah.
He's not. They're not just letting him sit there.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, he's got to get away. He's not gonna like steer with his mouth.
I like
Like,
him
how the hell do we
turning
get his
around and,
damn
like,
handcuffs
piloting.
off? Like, yeah, it was just a whole thing.
just
And for a
piloted
second
his
there, I was
feet.
like, he picks the lock. I was like, these are space cuffs. There's no lock.
There's no
You don't pick a lock. They doesn't have a bobby pin.
No, you need like a key card too.
Yeah, exactly.
can you imagine?
He's like all like going through the codes. Beep, beep, beep.
Lauren did the boards for that, and even at the boards, we were like, ugh, without the sounds, without any of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
was
horror movie fan. It
amazing.
takes a lot to get under my skin, and I verbally cried out. I was like,
Oh yeah, no, I yelled.
Well, 'cause I'm
I had
used
about 3 points in the season where I just went. "Ah!"
I'm used to people going like behind and then over.
Yeah.
Especially as martial artists, that's like how you kind of get out of it. But he went over, and I was like, God.
no, Lotor, you can go the other way.
Go back.
No. Okay, that's what we did.
Okay, we're here.
Switch betraying people, being betrayed by people,
Yeah.
and then kind of sidling up to
Killing. Yes.
killing Narty.
Yeah.
And then he's become our Starscream. He's a lot smarter than Starscream.
I
ever was.
disagree.
Yeah, I would
He's
think Starscream was a little...
No. In terms of here's this guy who's I'm thinking like prime Starscream. Let's be
I
real.
still disagree.
I just said he's smarter than Starscream ever was.
Much
Give me
smarter.
some credit. But it's I said this once on a different show and I'll say it again. Nobody's dumb enough to trust Starscream. This is the guy who will betray you as soon as it's convenient for him, for reasons that benefit him and him alone. Maybe some other people if it's great, but mostly him. So he's coming to them saying, "Hey, let's talk." We're like,
Oh, that was definitely not how I thought it was gonna end.
Lotor's got layers.
He sure does.
like an
Like an
onion.
onion.
Also,
Like
he's
a
got
space
genuine
onion.
layers.
Yeah.
Genuinely
Yeah.
does,
And he's and he's
Yeah.
genuinely intelligent, and I think we'll eventually learn things about him that, like,
Well, I mean,
maybe
like when
he's
he
not
was born?
super
Well, I
backstabby.
mean, but we did confirm. I assumed that was the case, but he did actually say at one point
His
in this
mother,
season, "My
Minerva.
mother Honerva." So
Yeah.
So how old
Unless
is
they
Lothar?
lied to
How long
him.
has he been around?
But we also don't know how age works in Galra, so
How does time work? Your dad's a
space.
zombie.
I don't know what you want from me in that one. Voltron,
Like we're not getting we're not getting any answers anytime soon.
also,
And we've already
like-
thrown spaghetti at the wall for literally every
everything.
combination.
We already talked about the science like not making sense. This is not gonna work out.
He's also grown up in like the most like evil, betray, backstabby culture of all time.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think some of that's a product of his upbringing.
I think you're right about
all
that.
that
But-
considered, he turned out okay.
Yeah, I
be
think for the
completely
most part.
I mean, he did brutally murder one of his
Generals.
Yeah. You know.
She was a liability.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. I mean, her cat was spying on him, probably.
Yeah.
So did they just leave the cat on the base?
They did.
Yeah,
They
I
left
thought
that cat.
bye
on
bye,
the
kitty
base.
cat.
Yep.
Like, stop spying on me, Mom.
Oh my God, Mom! I closed my door for a reason.
Exactly. I just want my privacy.
Well,
Where would you like Lance to go from here? And I know there's
To the space mall?
Let's go to the mall today.
Yeah, so Lance actually leaves the team next season. He becomes a star in this like reality TV show.
He gets a lot of character development,
I'm
wink,
happy. That
wink.
sounds great. Star Search. Do it.
Yeah, it's always hard because I'm like, I know kind of where things about, so be careful.
He decides to take the show on the road and replace all the other paladins with different talent.
They're all Bebos.
Keith becomes like, Space Ninja. Lance becomes like the Space 007.
That sounds amazing.
Yay.
That's what
I want it.
Sounds cool, no.
Sign me up.
You could join Cirque du Soleil with all the.
That's
I mean,
true.
he's good at that
Yeah,
stuff.
he's very good at
Lover
that.
Boy Lance.
Clearly a theater guy.
I love that.
Did
All
he
the
ever
screaming
take
fans.
a silk class? Because I swear he must have taken a
That
silk
is
class.
some
at
silk
some
class
point.
noise.
Yeah.
He's got some skill. He's got some hidden talents for sure.
Yeah, milking cows. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good all-around guy.
Yeah.
I think
That's why he's my favorite.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's a lot of moments. There's a couple little moments in this season and the one before. There's more like kind of serious moments, like when he's like kind of talking to Laura and stuff. And I think like a lot of that stuff kind of propels more going forward. And yeah, he definitely. I think just builds on a lot of that.
Yeah.
He kind of. I mean, his role is pretty defined at this point, and it really just kind of expands off of that.
Yeah.
Going forward, and he becomes a voice of reason soon.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
Without
feel
spoiling stuff.
like of everybody that's been sort of, because I mean, obviously there was a big shakeup last season of people switching lions and whatnot. I feel like Lance was the one who
That handled it the
adjusted
best.
Yeah.
the best.
I agree.
That's safe
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, surprisingly in that situation, he actually handles it well.
Yeah.
And there's some awesome moments that we've recorded for stuff in the future that I'm super excited about when they actually come out.
We're excited to
That
see.
are really cool. He's got some cool moments.
Yeah.
Yay. Can't
All right,
wait.
we're kind of getting the sign to move along. So, any thoughts on these two episodes? Any final thoughts on these two episodes?
I mean, why did you do that to me?
On the floor sobbing.
Never watching Voltron on NyQuil ever again.
Oh
I was on cold medicine. I was sick. It was the worst.
Just crying out.
Just ugly
so
crying.
sorry.
It was
Ugly crying.
bad. My husband was like, "What happened?" I'm like, Voltron.
Aw.
We had someone on Twitter go, a kids show.
for kids.
Yeah.
The
No.
fact that we can go, sort of.
I mean, yeah, it's
As broad
amazing.
as
That's why we
do.
love the show.
No,
Well,
I mean,
kids can absolutely handle
For
stuff
sure.
like this. They're not dumb.
that's why Don Bluth got away with so
like
much.
Hunchback of Quasimodo was like, Hunchback of Notre Dame is like one of the darkest Disney.
It really is.
That's the sequel.
Broken. Leave me alone.
This show just keeps getting better and better, and with every question that gets answered, like 10 more pop up. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
No problem.
Thank you, guys.
It's always a fun
Wonderful.
time.
Pleasure.
Are there any projects that you guys are working on that you can tell us about?
This show, we're working on a show.
That
It's
rhymes
called
with-
Voltron. You might have heard
It
of it.
rhymes with Tron, like the movie.
Oh, so it's Tron.
This show.
He's working on other shows.
Yeah, there's a show called Mr. Student Body President that I'm the lead in. It's on Verizon's Go 90
Nice.
platform. Our first season's you can stream the whole first season now. I think our second season starts airing on November 30th.
Cool.
All right.
So working on that, and my band just finished recording our first full-length album. So
Woo!
Oh, nice.
yeah, we're gonna be hopefully putting out an actual specific release date very soon.
Nice.
But I think February, March is probably when we'll be releasing. So that's super cool. The band's name is Make Out Monday.
All right.
And then other stuff too. But yeah, and then obviously lots more Voltron, and yeah.
And Lance joins a band.
Yes! We do need a musical episode.
We need the musical
then. Like,
episode.
can we get
Finally.
an official request?
A
Can
lot
we
of
get
us
a
on the
musical
cast sing.
episode?
Yeah, that's why
We
we're
can
asking.
take an official request.
I know.
We go
We can't
to-
make it happen.
We dimension hop to a universe where everyone communicates through song.
There you go.
Perfect. Perfect.
Like it.
Full on Music
itself.
Meister shenanigans.
I like that.
Joaquim?
In terms
He's
of,
also working on a show.
yeah, I'm
Rhymes
working on a
with
show
Voltron.
called that we're pretty much just knee deep in the
Yeah.
Voltron.
Sweet.
All right.
Sweet.
Well,
Keep up
thanks
the
again.
amazing work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been such a blast. Where can the people go if they want to keep up with you?
Twitter, the Instagram, same place. I said.
Yeah.
You know,
Same.
it's all that stuff. If you just Google me, something will come up. I
That yep.
Something.
That
Yep.
Yeah.
that's you're not wrong.
Pretty
It's
much.
on the lower third somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Same. Yeah, Twitter, Instagram.
don't know. There you
Twitter,
go.
Instagram. I think one's JDS_247. The other one's JDS_77.
It's all right.
First time I will ever know that.
And probably the last.
There's a lower third. We're good.
Yeah,
we're good. It's there.
But good for
All
you
right.
for, remembering.
Thank you
We're gonna ask
guys
you that.
so much. It's been such a
you.
blast
Thank
talking
you,
to you.
guys.
Thank you.
All right, Emma, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at my name, Emma Fyffe, EMMAFYFFE. I do lots of things, but follow me on Twitter because I tweet about all the things I'm doing. I'm going to be talking about Voltron, more in-depth history of all the anime stuff, and this show tomorrow night, 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, on the Anime Talk Show. I do it Hyper RPG, so that's twitch.tv/hyperrpg. It's called Hyper Otaku. It's real fun.
Hey guys, I'm Alexis Torres. You guys can find me all over social media at atorres890. I'm also trying to get a few of my things onto my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/ps890. Definitely check us out there.
I'm Megan Salinas. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. And as the live chat was kind enough to point out, do not Google me because there is a different Megan Salinas out in the world.
Don't do it.
With
Don't
a
do it.
different career.
Bunch of stuff here on AfterBuzz. Just follow me on those sites. You'll see what
And
I'm
I'm
up to.
Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias and on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is KIAXET. I talk about all the shows I'm on there, and they're all coming back. So now there's like 5. Yes. Yeah, we're doing stuff. It's great. You should follow us all while we're doing things. Thank you guys so much for watching us, and we will see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Razzle dazzle.
Oh my God, you did the
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.